Welcome back to another episode of Everything. You have myself, Americ Masters, with my co-host Hunter. This is episode 6. So today's topic is going to be the Golden State Warriors offseason potential moves and a free agent list that we're going to go through. Hunter, say what's up.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
So right now we are just gonna just start off with a little bit of, you know, just ideas of what could potentially happen, the tax ramifications that always gets the Warriors every year. So we definitely don't want to be in the luxury cap, uh, or in the tax, I should say. So right now we're going to start off with this article here, according to ESPN, and we're just going to briefly go over it for those that don't really follow the Warriors or wish to start following the Warriors. They just ended their season, the 23-24 season, with a record of 46-36. Currently, right now in June, we have only one draft pick. We don't have a first round. We only have a second round, which is number 52. And what that means is we're drafting very late in the entire draft. 52 is towards the very end. I believe there's only 57 picks, so we got 52. So we can't expect much through the draft, but I think our moves are going to be in free agency. What do you think?
Well, I mean, considering we're limited option and depending on what direction the Warriors are planning to do, free agent is the only way we go.
Yeah, I mean, look at our list of free agents right now. So we got Klay Thompson, we got GP2, we got Dario Saric, Usman Gruba, which I know he's a center, but I didn't really see too much of him. Lester Quinones, that came from Santa Cruz, and Jerome Robinson, I believe that also came from Santa Cruz. So out of this entire list, who is important? Who would you be willing to bring back?
Well, like I said, depending on the direction where the Warriors want to go, if they're just trying to win like one more championship with the big three, then obviously we'll try to keep Klay. But for me, the only person that I see that I want to make sure we keep for sure is Gary Payton II.
Okay.
He's the only player that I've seen that's like very consistent. Well, like as long as he stays healthy, he contributes all the time.
Okay, so I agree, right? But one thing that bothers me about GP2 is he's always injured. He comes back, we're excited, the fan base is excited to see him back, and then he gets injured and he's out for another 10 days or 10 games potentially. So it's a little frustrating. If he could stay healthy, hell yeah, bring him back.
Yeah. Well, that's like with every player, though. And I mean, that's the problem,
Right.
Health has always been an issue.
Right. So, I mean, how about Klay Thompson, though? He's one of the original Splash Bros, drafted in 2011, I believe, number 11 pick. Would you bring him back?
For me, the only problem I have with Klay, unless he's, willing to take a pay cut, because otherwise we're going to be like over the cap again, and we won't have a chance to get some big names that can help us out.
Right.
So, and not only that, but Klay has not been Klay for the last 3 years. So, I mean, other than nostalgic, don't get me wrong, I love Klay, but that's not going to help us win championship. Nostalgia is not going to get us anywhere.
Right, and that's the thing that kind of is a tricky scenario that we're in. Like for me, giving him 2 years seems reasonable. Now, there's rumors saying that potentially 2 years at $60 million, but to me, that's just too much money.
Exactly.
Like he had some decent numbers coming off the bench. I feel like he had a better flow to him, and he impacted the game more coming off the bench versus starting. But I say 2 years at about maybe $36 million. Give or take 18 million per. Like something in that ballpark. Under 20 for sure. I don't see the Warriors giving him 20 million per year, dude.
I don't either, but at the same time, you never know, because that's what I'm saying. It depends on the Warriors. Where are they? Where's their head at? what direction are they going to go through this year? Are they just going for a ring, or are they just gonna, just going for nostalgia?
Right. So so this is an interesting piece right here, according to this article from ESPN. Yes, we recently signed Steve Kerr, our head coach, for 2 years at $35 million. Awesome. I like Steve. I think he is a perfect fit for this team. But if you look at this article right here, it does say right here, Golden State spent a record high $384 million in payroll, only to finish 10th in the West. That's terrible. And we didn't even make the playoffs. We lost in the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and according to the owner, Joe Lacob, he stated right here, Golden State's ducking the tax next season. Quote, our plan 1 or 1A is we like to be out of the tax. We think that we have a way to do that. So they definitely don't want to be a tax repeater, because from what I understand, when it comes to the luxury tax penalty, if you're a repeater consistently year after year, the tax implementation actually increases, which is going to cost the team more money. So, I mean, we have to be really careful when it comes to spending. So we might have to cut some players, see some players go. And there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'll get to that. But what do you think?
Well, I mean, that's the problem. That's why I don't think Klay is a priority, because unless Steph or Draymond are willing to take a pay cut or do a pay restructure, it's going to be almost impossible unless I don't know what kind of magic they're going to do to get out of that luxury tax, because that's insane as it is.
Right. So right now it does mention too that the Warriors have 11 players under contract, and their lone key free agent is Klay Thompson. So for them to actually, be successful, they're going to have to shred some contracts at some point. Right now it's stating that Golden State is $2.7 million above the threshold. So they're just right there above it. So we could get below it, but what does that look like? How do we do that? A lot of the fans, including myself, are like, hey, let's bring this team back, add a few pieces and let a few pieces go. So one thing is, I'm going to ask you straight up.
Mm-hmm.
And these are homegrown players, so I know, some fans may not agree. They could get upset, but hey, we have to talk about this because we're going to question everything. Mm-hmm. So Kevon Looney, my bad. Kevon Looney, his contract is up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Warriors have until June 24th to guarantee Looney's $8 million contract, which $3 million is guaranteed. Mm-hmm. So would you bring back Kevon Looney? He is a center at 6'9". He has some mileage on him. He's still under 30. Championship. He has 4 with the team. He could rebound. He's a rebounding machine. Very rare to block or be a presence. Scoring is okay. Maybe get 5 points, 8 points out of him, maybe. But his rebounds are over 10. He could do that. So would you be willing to bring back Looney?
I like Looney, but I might have to go a different route. As far as I think we could probably find someone cheaper that's actually a true center.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who that could be, but yeah, definitely. Unless I think it still all ends up depending on GP2 and Klay Thompson.
Okay, all right. Well, for me, I think that Loon's been part of the championship run forever, right? He's part of the original group, and I hear nothing but great things about the person. But when I see him on the court, it's I feel like he's a step slower. He doesn't really jump as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's a defensive liability. So, yes, in terms of us looking for another center that could be taller, that could have more of a presence in the key, that could help defend, I feel like we have to go in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we bring him back on a really cheap, team-friendly deal. On a 1 year, maybe $3 million. I'm cool with that,
Yeah. Maybe. Like I said, he's been, like you said, he's a key part, but maybe we could get someone in the free agent who's a little hungrier, who's never had a championship that maybe wants one. So that's why I feel like we can get a cheaper option somewhere else, or at least someone comparable to who I know who wants to win.
Right. Okay, so the next player, this is where it gets tricky, and it could be definitely in the favor of the Warriors. So the next player is Chris Paul, and the Warriors got to June 28th to make a decision if we're going to bring back and exercise him on his team-friendly deal of $30 million. So $30 million is a huge chunk. It's not guaranteed. He could leave. He could we could cut him. He could leave. This is the whole reason why we traded Jordan Poole for him. And a lot of people are like, why are you trading Jordan Poole, who's young, who's not even hit his prime yet, for a veteran? It's due to this moment here for the $30 million that we could just shed. Now that's huge. That could definitely get us below the cap. Just his contract alone. I like CP3. I think that he brought a lot of leadership and opened the minds of the youngsters for Pods and Kuminga, even TJD. He definitely helped the growth for those three players. But $30 million is something that I don't feel the Warriors should even entertain at this point. If we're going to run it back with, trying to sign Klay Thompson for a cheaper deal, we're going to have to let CP3 go. So who would you rather have? Warrior fans, CP3 or Klay Thompson, KT11 or CP3? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or cut both.
I personally would cut both.
Okay.
Because that gives us a better option, because when we have a potential of getting someone, like I said, there's a bunch of players that can be in the free agent that's never won a championship. But wants that, that needs it. Right. I know Chris Paul needs it, but Father Time's not been kind to him.
No,
and he is not the same person where even when he was he's not, his skills hasn't diminished, but he still gets injured, and he still Father Time has not been kind, and
right.
That money, I think we could use it on somebody else that's younger and hungrier. That's why that's the direction I would go.
Okay. Now it does say here this is the top priority for the front office with Dunleavy and Party. If the goal is to save money, then Paul and his $30 million non-guaranteed contract will likely get waived by June 28th. And I feel that this is the direction they have to go. If we're going to rebuild and truly give Curry an opportunity to win at least one more, with his teammates, the OGs of, Draymond and Clay, we have to let CP3 go. I mean, again, this could go in any direction. We don't know. They both could come back on team-friendly deals. They could both be gone. One could be coming back. If I had to choose, I believe that Paul will be gone and KT11 will be back. If I had to pick, out of the two. But yeah, I mean, even things that people may not be thinking about is also Kuminga's extension. He played really well this season. I feel that he should get an award for most improved player because his scoring went up through the roof. His play, everything was so fun to watch. And it was dope to see him grow as a player. Finally, he's only 21 and he's entering his fourth year. He's super young. So right now it's they're thinking potentially Kuminga for a 5-year, $225 million rookie max. That's a lot. I don't think he's going to get that this season. So we got to tread carefully. But, I mean, his numbers did increase, substantially. 16 points a game, almost 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 53% almost on field goals. So that's awesome numbers. He could also be a trade piece for a free agent or a player on a team that has an expiring deal. So there's so many options. I personally would not want to get rid of Kuminga. He's too valuable for this team. He's the future after Steph and Green and Thompson leave. This is going to be Kuminga's team, Moses Moody's team. It's going to be Pod's team and TJD. We got the core youth that could carry us into the next, season or the next step after Steph and them leave. But what do? Do we get desperate and get rid of all the pieces to ensure that Steph has a quality player like a KD? Because in order for us to get a KD, we're gonna have to give up these players, Kuminga, Moody, maybe Pods and TJD. We're gonna have to give up our youth, for a vet that's old, but is guaranteed legit. So I don't know. I mean, for me, like if Klay Thompson leaves, we have Moses Moody ready to fill in. I like Moody. I think Moody is legit. He is underrated. He's quiet. He doesn't, cause issues. But when you put him in the game, he delivers. He can score. He can rebound. He's hungry. He gets to the basket. So, and this is a guard, a guard. He could play like the 4. He could play the 3. So it's like, I mean, we have options. So,
well, I mean, for me personally, if I had to choose, definitely Moody would have to stay. I'm willing to lose Kuminga just because, like in the beginning, he was kind of even though he's kind of like, he's been wanting the ball, he's been complaining about his time and stuff like that. He was a little bit of a distraction, even though he got a little bit better. But sometimes I think his attitude gets in the way. But even though they give him that, extension for 5 year, 200 something, that's still, I think, a lot. And considering the team needs, I'm willing to lose him to gain to gain some potential pieces. I know he's young. He's he has a lot of potential, but to me, he's kind of like a Jordan Poole. Okay. So that's why I'd rather keep Moody and leverage Kuminga to another team so he can help us out either with draft picks or players that can fill our needs.
Okay.
Because even if I can't see him being the real leader of this Warriors team to take us to the next step.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So these are the 3 big names that we got to consider: Klay Thompson, Chris Paul, GP2 again, and Looney. So 4 names. So these are the 4 contracts we got to decide. I like GP2. When he's playing, he can play. He's really great on defense. He could get to the boards. He could grab those boards. So him and Moody could do a lot for this team. So but if I had to pick again as a ending recap here, I would bring back Thompson on a smaller deal. I'll bring back GP2 and I'll let Chris Paul and Looney walk.
I agree with you on that one. But like I said, it depends on what the Warriors' mindset is. For me, I'm okay with letting go of Klay. He's been great. I love him, but I'm thinking more towards the future and certain championship, aspiration wise. I'm willing to let him go. If we can get GP2 in a cheap contract, I'd rather keep him. Definitely CP3 needs to go, and even like I said, leveraging Kuminga, because I think shedding those extra weight can help us get better players to help get us to the next step.
All right, and now we're gonna transition to the last topic, and with a better player, here is the list of the NBA free agents here that we do have. So we're definitely gonna go over them, Hunter and I, and we're gonna see who could potentially be a good fit that will go along with the Draymond Greens, Steph Curry, who could help this team get deep into the playoffs, and if not, raise another, championship title. So to get back to the finals and do what we do. So with that, we have the top name on the list. We covered this in the last episode, LeBron James. I mean, his average $50 million is a lot, so he would have to take a cut to come here. Yes or no? Would you bring him?
Quite honestly, no. Not for the money that he's asking for, and I don't think he's willing to take a pay cut. And and I can't really see him like really wanting to be a Warrior. I know he said in the past that he would want to play with Steph, but getting him in a cheap contract, I don't know. It's not like he needs the money, but it all depends on what he wants. But I can't picture that, to be honest.
Right. All right. Yeah, me either. Like LeBron, I really doubt that he would take a team-friendly deal, even to play on this roster with Steph and Draymond and potentially Clay. I mean, he's towards the end of his career, so he's definitely going to collect, which I understand. I would too, so I would pass on James too. So the next one on the list is going to be Paul George. This one's a little bit interesting due to the age. He is a shooting guard, but he's not as durable, so we could sign him. We could spend like the 45 a year to get him, like a 2-year 90, right? But let's say that he has a great season. We're doing well. We're like maybe like in the top between 3 and 6, right? Seed next year. Let's be realistic, right? I mean, Minnesota and Denver are tough. So let's look at number 3 to 6. If we're in that range and we enter the playoffs, what are the chances that Paul George will be healthy? There's a chance that he could be on the bench.
Yeah. To me, I mean, like I wouldn't personally pick him up, and not because he doesn't have the skill set, but at the same time, it's just like the money's not worth it for me, and he's getting up there, and he hasn't really been known to be explosive during the playoffs. He can help you get there, but I don't think he's the kind of guy that can close the deal.
Right.
Help us close the deal. So to me, that's a hard pass. I mean, if that was the case, I'd rather go for LeBron because you're looking only like a $5 million difference.
Right.
So I would rather, because LeBron I know is a
workhorse,
and not only that, but he's hungry. He's always hungry.
Right.
And Paul George, he doesn't have the tenacity or the love like LeBron has. So that one for me is a hard pass.
All right. So the next one's Klay Thompson. We could bring him back. He's only 34, so we could bring him back. His average annual is 38, which is too steep for me. They said 2 years 60. I say 2 years at like 30. 2 years at like 36 in that range. Below 40, Paying $20 million, over $20 million for him, I don't think is realistic at this point of his career. He would have to definitely take a team-friendly deal. Especially when we look at the very last game of the play-in, where he scored 0 points. It's like, bro, you can't be doing that. Steph needs a consistent player next to him that puts up. You used to do that. That's why we won so many championships. Can you do it again? Can you mentally get out of your head and lock in? Because I feel that he's just too he's too hard on himself that it just throws his entire game off, and we can all see it. So it's like, come on.
That's why for me, I would pass just because of that. I mean, because one, he's asking a lot, and we're not sure what kind of Klay Thompson we're going to get. Right? He's not the Klay of old.
Right.
And Steph can't carry him just because of nostalgia. We can't have that. So to me, that's why it's a hard pass unless it's a very, very team-friendly deal. Right. Other than that, it's a pass for me. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now we're going to go down the list a little bit quicker now. So let's see. Tobias Harris, he's a power forward. I don't really think we need a power forward at this point. So there's no need for him to be sought after. James Harden, I don't think we should even entertain that at all.
Nope.
Siakam we wanted, but that was if Draymond didn't come back, essentially, or for Siakam to play center. But I think with the emergence of TJD, I don't really think that we need to go after him. Gordon Hayward, I think he's like towards the end of his career too. So
no, I would pass on him. He's too expensive for getting someone closer to the end of the deal.
Right.
Like end of his career. But no, that's a hard pass for him.
Like Kyle Lowry, he's still good. I think he's good, but I don't think that he would fit on this team, especially since Steph is there. He wouldn't want that.
The thing is like I would consider Kyle if it's a team friendly deal because For me, he's just a good a bench relief for Steph, and he's a consistent scorer, but like I said, not for that price.
Not for that price.
Considering
Not
his
for that.
age, I would still pass.
Right.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I mean, right now, I just feel that we gotta. Maybe we should just filter this by what we actually need. So, what position do we truly need a center? Right.
Center, and for me, this is a no-brainer. Is Jonas Valanciunas.
Right.
He is a guy that I think he's still not necessarily old. He has a veteran presence. He's very consistent, and for that price for 15 mil, I think it's worth it. Especially if we are thinking of letting go of Kevon Looney.
Right. Yeah, I'll go over. I would definitely entertain Valanciunas over Looney for sure. I mean, 15 million. We could offer him a 2-year 30. And that's not bad. I'd rather have that, to be honest, than a Klay Thompson. Unless again, Klay Thompson is like, we don't know. We got to see what he wants, because if we don't bring back Klay, how's that going to affect Steph? Would Steph be affected at all? Would that bother him? Would he be in a slump because his boy is not there? We got to think about that too, So
that's something I'm sure they're going to talk about.
Oh yeah, and I mean, based on this list, we have a lot of options for centers. There's a few young ones on here. Like, I mean, to me, I would be open to bring back Wiseman, dude. That's our former number 2 on a team friendly deal, bro.
I don't care how friendly it is. To me, it's like, you know what, we're wasting our time.
Really?
Yeah. To me, honestly, it's like we're wasting our time because, one, he has never stayed healthy. Right. It'd be different if he never got injured and he never got, because even right now, the only reason anyone hears of him is because he was a former Warrior. Other than that, he hasn't really contributed to this team.
Let's look at his numbers, though. So, he played in 63 this past season, started 6, 17 minutes a game. So he's averaging 7 points, 5 rebounds. Barely under a block. Okay, that's not the greatest. All right. I mean, if he were to beat 17 minutes is a lot, though, for 7 points only. Damn. Exactly. So that means if we were to double it and put him towards like 40, he'll be getting about 15 and 10. I mean, that's still better than Looney, though, bro.
Yeah, but even though it's better than Looney, I'd rather spend the money on, like I said, Valanciunas.
Why can't get both? Why can't we get both?
If he's willing to, but at the same time, probably what's his contract at right now?
His estimated his previous was what, 9 million, 10 million. So we could probably bring that down to like 8. For a 1 year, bring him back on an 8-year or an 8. 1 year.
See, the other thing is like I have a problem with is because he still hasn't shown any signs of real improvement, and the Warriors don't have time to coach someone like that. Do you? You think they have the time for that one?
No, that's true.
I would rather go with the Knicks, Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's decent, but
he's decent, and then he's only like 16 million, right? And his average salary is 8, so almost the same price as Wiseman. I'd rather get with a guy that's has some sort of success.
So check this out, though. This guy's 25 years old, Nicholas Claxton, center for the Nets, and this past season, he started all 71 games and played in all 71, averaged about 30 minutes, about 12 points, 10 boards a game. And he averaged almost 2 blocks a game. So that's pretty solid right there. I wouldn't mind that for his age. 25, he's putting up 12, 10, and 2. It's not bad, man.
That's not bad.
I like that.
I would rather have that, like I said, than Wiseman. So
right. Okay. So Claxton, I choose Claxton, man. Like I think Claxton will be a good fit, and based on his average, he's about like 9 million a year. We could offer him like a 3-year, like 27.
The same thing as Isaiah Hartman. They're about the same age.
Okay.
Right. So they're about in. Hartenstein is actually a little cheaper, but that's why I say we could pick up both Valanciunas and Hartman, and have 2 solid, two solid centers. Right.
Let's see. Hartenstein, yeah, I know. Like he's still in the playoffs, so 25. Let's see. Let's see his stats real quick here. played in 75 games, started 49, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block. I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's decent, but I still would pick Claxton over him.
Yeah, I mean, like either or would not be like a bad choice, right?
Right.
But like I said, this is the first time, like, you know what, we actually have 2 solid centers, right?
All right, so Valanciunas
and Claxton.
So Valanciunas is 32 or 31. Started all 82 games, which is great. 24 minutes, averaged 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 0.8 blocks. So he's not really a defender. Like, he could get boards, he could score, but he's not really a shot blocker. I think we need to go after a shot blocker. Now, this guy's good. I wouldn't mind bringing him on, you know, as off the bench or something, or to start. But again, I'd rather go with Hartstein or Claxton at this point.
Yeah,
you know.
But I mean, at least those 3 options right there, right, would already be a big help to the Warriors, as far not only just as far as budget friendly, but as actual team needs. Because you know what, we need someone that can stick in there and just, you know, rebound and defend and block. You know, that's all we need, right? Because we have the shooters, we have the talent, so that's why those guys would be a good fit, and the price is good, and both of them, depending on how the playoffs work, right? They want to be hungry. They want to get that cash, and they want to be like known as a champion. Right. So what's the better way of doing that than being part of the Warriors?
Right. Now, the next position besides center, and I feel like center, Valanciunas will be a good number 3, Hartstein number 2, Claxton number 1 to go after, based on production and age.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Cool. So the next one I'm looking at is going to be the position of small forward, our 3. Like, who can be a target that we could get? Because to me, I think I am done with the Andrew Wiggins experiment. I think he has 1 more year left on his contract. He's at $25 million a year. I think that he should be a trade piece. We could deal him to another team. You know, like, I'm willing to try someone new for the small forward position. What do you think?
I would too. I mean, honestly, I think we can afford to let him go, because as much as I like Wiggs, he's not consistent, and there's been times like, I'm not questioning the you know, the validness of the times off that he takes, but that's a big, too much, like, you know, like a distraction. And even though he's not a young buck, I'm looking at the list. The one person I know I like a lot is Jay Crowder.
Okay, so if you had to pick on this list, you'll pick Jay Crowder. Now, before you make that answer, you have to consider age, man.
I know.
Jay Crowder age, dude.
I know. That's what I said. If we can get it in team friendly, because even though he's not a young buck, but he's hungry and he's like, you know, he production. But on the other end, another player I would look into, like, I don't know how you feel about him, and is Yuta Watanabe. He's still fairly young, and he's a decent player. I think, you know, he's someone that, you know, like, I think that could probably work well.
Which one? OG Anunoby?
No, Yuta Watanabe.
Okay, right there. Is he good?
Yeah, he's fairly decent. You know, I don't think he's like the kind of guy that, you know, like would like. Let's take a look at his stats. So, like, his current last stats is like, you know, he averages like he's a decent player. He had better time, but I think he's a good person that you can probably work with.
34 games played, 13 minutes, 3 points, 1 rebound. Final answer on this?
Yeah, for me, yeah. I think he's just like an underutilized player that I think he can work well. He's still a young guy. I mean, compared to like Wiggs, I mean, I don't know. People will shoot me down for it, but like I said,
I'm shooting you down for that.
I still feel like he could be like a, like a valuable player. He just needs the right settings.
I mean, dude, Mike, Wiggins is actually younger than this guy.
Yeah,
let me just look into it. I'm gonna look at his numbers real quick. Wiggins' numbers, but Wiggins, I know for sure is younger. Let's see. So we owe him $26 million this year, which is interesting. So he has how many more seasons? 5 more? No, 4 more seasons with us. Okay, so here's his numbers. I guess they're about the same age, 29 and 78 days. All right. So 27 minutes a game, 13 points, 4 rebounds. I mean, 13 points is garbage, bro, for that kind of money.
Exactly.
His numbers dropped. Look at ever since we got him, his numbers have been declining every year. Exactly. It's like it's time to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
So
that's why that's one of the reasons why I kind of like I feel like Yuta would not be it's cheaper, right? He's hungry and he wants to prove himself, And I mean, he's cheaper. I mean, to me as an option, because other than that, like most of the other players are like getting in there in age. Are we looking more towards like future replacements or just a filler?
I'm looking for future replacements. Now look at this number real quick. Free throws. Wiggins is okay, but 75%. Your boy Watanabe, 58%, bro. So hack a shack on him, and we're gonna lose the game.
Yeah,
he's a small.
I mean,
forward.
like I said, I'm just looking, I just think he has potential, and that's just me, But that's why, you picked on me because of his age, Jay Crowder.
I didn't pick on you. Come on.
Well, you know what I'm saying. You question my Jay Crowder, which is fine. I mean, that's the whole point. We can question everything, right? We have a different opinion on it, but I still think he's a guy that's, he has heart and he wants to play. So.
I mean, right now, look at OG Anunoby, right? He was on the Raptors, got traded to the Knicks, currently in the playoffs right now. He's only 26. He's going to be 27 soon. And his numbers are decent. He averages about like maybe 15 points a game, 4 rebounds. Like, that's okay. I mean, it's not much better than Wiggins, to be honest. So,
yeah, but that's why. But for that price, that's the only reason I'm not looking at OG Anunoby. Just because of the price. Because considering where we're at cap wise, salary cap, and luxury tax, that's the only reason I'm not looking at him. I'm unless they're the Warriors are willing to eat it again and get taxed more. I don't think that's a strong possibility.
All right, so let's see what's up with this kid, Patrick Williams, 22 years old. Let's see. He averages about 27 minutes, 10 points, 4 rebounds, about 1 assist, almost a block a game. This is decent for 27 minutes. I mean, compared to Wiggins at 27 minutes, he's 13, 4. I mean, they're fairly the same kind of player, dude, and he's younger.
I would rather go for this guy.
Maybe we could trade Wiggins to the Bulls and get Williams in return. That's something I would definitely consider.
Well, I mean, what's the point of trading if he's a free agent?
That's true. Good point.
Right?
Good point.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, based on this, is there any other position besides center and small forward that you would consider?
I mean, at this
shooting
point,
guard, power forward, point guard,
maybe. But the problem we have again is just the cap,
right?
And that's something I don't think we can get too far ahead of ourselves. We can think of whatever we want, but in the end, that's what matters.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, with this, I hope that this was insightful for the casual fan like myself to kind of get an idea of what the upcoming offseason may look like for the Warriors. Which direction are we going to go with? Re-sign KT11, let CP3 go, bring back GP2, let Looney go, trade Wiggins, any free agents. These are all things that are possible, definitely possible. Can we stay under the cap? Let us know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you agree with Hunter and I? You disagree? Definitely let us know. If you haven't done so already, like, subscribe, and let everyone know, that like sports, Bears sports of our channel, so you can help us grow. With that, do you have anything else you want to add, Hunter?
Well, if you guys have any comments as far as also like what topic you'd like us to cover, or what opinions you feel like with our pick, or throw in your 2 cents and which ones you guys think that we should go after, feel free to go ahead and write down in the comments and like and subscribe. We appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next episode.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Peace.